Good evening, world. Good on. What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Um, did the general for the week pretty much. Energy came through, but due to the conversation, it is a beautiful time. It really is. But like I said, it really depends on where you're at. And we're gonna pull some cards and everything, but we're gonna talk about Pluto, that scorpionic energy, and what's going on with the world because of this activation. We're going to talk about suicide, you know what I mean? And for the rest of the month, or how long I feel led to do this, we're going to kind of open up the channel for people who may have those kind of thoughts, those kind of feelings. We're going to pull cards on it, maybe get some advice in this particular area for anybody who might come across this video later on. It's a serious topic. It's the other side of things being beautiful right about now for a lot of people. I mean, the slate is being cleared for a lot of us, but for some people, there may be some things coming back. You know what I'm saying? That aren't so easy to deal with. Memories are coming up a lot, especially with the last wave spells, a lot of resurfacing of events and the whole thing with justice being served or not served, you know what I'm saying, depending on where you're at with it. But I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'm gonna get my man Big Dog Battle Trap out. He's my Transformer for the moment. And he represents that Pluto energy, which is that wrecking ball. Now, it's a sensitive topic, so I'm going to really take my time with it, right? Because we're talking about suicide, we're talking about depression, we're talking about fear, anger, resentment, all of the above tonight, And this channel is one of those spaces where if you feel led to leave a comment, if you're in that space, or if you know somebody who may be in that space, you kind of want to share the video with them, or if you know somebody's in that kind of state of mind. But my intention is that it reaches the right people in time, because we get to talk about a few things beyond this. We gotta get the hookah in the back, right? We gotta get the owl. This is really the kind of smoke with Gemini and Jupiter. These are the kind of conversations that we need to start having, because mental health is a big deal right now. You can see it everywhere, really. You can see the dysfunction, you can see the fragmentation, the schizophrenia of the collective. A lot of it is due to the fact that people weren't really ready for the energy, you know what I'm saying? And for that, those of us who've been doing the work, shoot, there's been plenty of times where Sophia, welcome in. This live is a collective read, and due to Pluto, I use Transformers as my my buffer between the realms. They serve as the archetypes, and since Pluto is doing its thing, tearing down the walls of the collective in Aquarius, and also with Saturn and Pisces shattering illusions, this is going to be a time where we're going to see a lot of people taking themselves out. So the intention of this video not only is to help others understand what's going on, and I love Transformers. That's the big part of my channel. I got most of them packed up because I'm in the I'm in the mode of transition, so they're always played a part. But Battle Trap is perfect for this because it's colors. This is the same as any pantheon. You know what I'm saying? This is the same as any kind of pantheon you'll find, from the Greek mythology to the Norse mythology. They embody certain energies, and this archetype, especially with this yellow, we're talking about confidence. We're talking about that sacral and that solar plexus because of that little bit of orange in the back. And he's perfect in the interpretation of Pluto because of that chain and that wrecking ball. You know what I'm saying? That's a little custom build, but we're going to pull some cards because I'm interested to see what Spirit has to say about all this at this time. You know what I'm talking about? Just curious, that's all. You know what I mean? It was just on my mind. And with Jupiter being in Gemini, like I said, we have to start having we have to start having these conversations. This is the time when we really have to get at what really is going on with the collective and finding some creative solutions at this time about how to deal with people who are in this energy, and also for those people who may not have a voice, who may feel alone at this time. So I'm gonna do my best to tag the shit out of this video to put it in an algorithm where it may reach certain people in time. So if you're joining the live, please put out that kind of energy as well, because whether we like it or not, we are all connected, and what one does or what happens to one person really does affect me all, because I think it's the worst feeling in the world for someone to feel like they do not belong here. And this is not something foreign to myself or a lot of people that I know, because there's been plenty of times where I done threw my hands up to some shit and be like, well, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that space. I know what that feels like, with the world seemingly going against everything. Yep, here we go. Everything that either you believe or stand for. So what we have here is, and I'm using Fancy's deck. This is my own custom deck, and I still have some decks available. All you gotta do is email me, and it's in the description box later for that though. The red moon is the energy that we just got out of in the Mayan calendar. It was 13 days prior to yesterday, where the universe was asking us to purify, to get into a flow, to recognize the process. And I think the process is really the big part here, because sometimes when you're in the midst of things, you feel like the world is against you, when it's really, you have a good night. When you feel like it doesn't make sense, there's no clear road, there's no path forward, everything seems stagnant. But in these times, and this is more so for the people who are in that space, this is where everything unseen is really trying to assist you in clearing out what you might call karma, or feelings of resentment, guilt, anger, doubt, jealousy, all these lower vibrational feelings. And it has a lot to do with water, or the womb. Since we're dealing with the red moon, we're dealing with that root chakra, which is all about going back to how we were raised and our belief systems and what we were instilled with. Okay? All of this is really meant for you to change your perspective, not only on the world with the hanged woman here, and transform as a result of this introspection, if you will, or this cleansing. And this could be very simple things like throwing away old memories that have ties to your past that are traumatic. You know what I mean? Articles of clothing, old text messages, anything that reminds you of something that triggers you. You understand what I'm saying? But not only is it, like I said, about the world around you, seeing it in a different way, but it's about seeing yourself in a different way and realizing that what you're going through, you're meant to go through this to help you become the highest possible version of self, for one thing. But realizing that what you're going through, you were meant to, because it's like, you got to get the antidote from the venom. You understand what I'm saying? You have to go and experience some negative things in order to really appreciate the positive. But in this process, you become your own doctor. You know what I'm saying? You really become your own medicine. And this is what a lot of people don't realize, their own power. And then we got Mosaic. Now, for those not familiar with Fancy's deck, this is this is a whole new ball game. You feel me? It's something I created without a book, because we are the book, and it's your own interpretation or your own perspective of things that really adds on to the meaning moving forward of the interpretation of what we're looking at here. Mosaic is the element of earth, and it speaks of one's self-value. But not only that, it speaks of bringing back the pieces of self, reclaiming lost inheritance, or a lot of legacy has been stolen over the last couple hundred years, let's say. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be just something physical like land or money or things of that nature, but a spiritual inheritance. We're talking about your history and where you come from. These things uh, really make a difference in instilling confidence in the offspring that we're raising at this time. You know what I mean? And a lot of us didn't get the truth. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us didn't get the proper uh, pieces that we needed to really have that confidence going forward. And it kind of leaves you in a state of identity crisis, not knowing why you're here, what you're here for. You know what I'm talking about? Mosaic is here to help to ground that energy for you. This is about really getting in touch with who you are. The North Node is now in Aries, which is assisting the whole collective with being more in touch with self and asking the question, who am I now? Who am I transforming into? And what can I do to aid this process moving forward? Um, Getting back to here, because this is the main title or the main card, really is the Red Moon. What it's really asking is what you need to release. It's a very introspective look into yourself at this time. And I'm glad this came up because this is kind of like a refresher for me from the last wave spell, but it's still ongoing because it's a component of all. You understand? It doesn't just disappear because the time span is gone, but time is relative. It depends on where you are personally in life. You know what I'm saying? Which one is stronger? What do you mean by that? Right there, gaming with Angel. Welcome on in. But I wait for your reply. But while we're talking about that, what needs to be released in order for you to move on? Because a lot of us have this kind of root, or have gone through a lot of this root chakra trauma about being nurtured. You know what I'm saying? About being nourished in a way where you have a proper confidence about yourself, about self-esteem, that kind of thing, and it all stems back from our childhood. You know, a lot of our parents didn't have the best, and it's not to give anybody a pass because we're all accountable at the end of the day, but it's understanding that we're all still having a human experience, right? And not only do we have to experience these things, but it's up to us to how we transmute that energy and turn it into something that's a tool in our bag rather than a knife in our back. You know what I'm saying? Because our perspective of what has happened to us right now means everything. Everything. So one of the bigger reasons that I've seen or have heard about people committing suicide is relationships. So let's talk about relationships real quick. This could be from finding out that you're not the mama or daddy kind of thing, or somebody cheating on you, breaking your heart after so many years, or not even being able to get into a relationship, period. You know what I'm saying? All these could lead up to a feeling of unworthiness or feeling a bit of lack or like you're missing out on something in life, right? Returning to this purified version of self is really about releasing the old belief system of who you are. It's really about taking the perspective of who you want to be and how you want to experience life. And it's not the easiest place. I'm not saying that, because you have to really strip everything and go back to the drawing board. You know, go back to ground zero. Get all the pieces together, collect all the data. You know what I mean? Really give yourself that space and that grace and allow yourself that time to heal. It is a process. So it's nothing overnight. You know what I mean? It's constant work. It's constant checking back in with yourself and having also a strong support system, which is one of the reasons why these issues occur. The Hermit. It is all about self right now and realizing your own potential, which you're able to create, right? And what this is saying is this is a time to go within. I am just simply a messenger. There's nothing about this that's going to divert anybody's intentions or what they want to do. This is meant to at least have a platform where it's being addressed rather than tarot being used for who's cheating on who kind of thing. You understand what I'm saying? Or anything about the mundane world as we know it. This is about curing the issues or addressing the issues that we face as a collective because we are all accountable whether we like it or not. And when you hear that word accountable, most people run for the hills. And that's quite all right. You know what I mean? The world to come will not be for those kind of individuals. I can guarantee you that. The hermit is about taking time to yourself, disconnecting from the world because the influence of the world can add on to these feelings of loneliness or unworthiness or not wanting to be here because of what you're seeing. Um, Social media, media in general has a way of projecting what a person should be at a certain point in their life, what a beautiful woman or man should look like, or how they should act, or what they should have at certain points in their life. And as we come to find, we all grow at different rates. We know this from school. You know what I'm saying? We know this from being around our peers. And, you know, this is where the cases where all the beautiful girls get the attention. You know what I'm saying? This is where we're only looking at things from a surface level or skin deep. The hermit is here to invite you to dig deeper than the surface because uh, real relationships are built on character and virtues like loyalty, trust, and you know, the essence of one's heart, what's in your heart, the intentions of your heart, and what you see for yourself in the world around you, the people that you care about. This is an exploration of self. It's a time for you to be 100% accountable for you. This is a time for you to block out all the outside influence telling you what you should be or how you should go about doing it, and get to the essence of what it is you feel and manifesting what you want out of life, regardless of what the status quo is. Mosaic is asking with this Hermit card in this reflection to go back and find things that you love, things that have always brought a smile to your face. It could be art, it could be music. For me, and my inner child was always Transformers, right? And little did I know how much more was underneath the surface of my attraction to this. You understand? Now I have a better understanding of not only myself, but why I was attracted to something that said more than meets the eye. That is basically the hermit, going beneath the surface to see what's really who you really are and what the essence and what you have to offer the world. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing like you at this time, and there never will be. Mosaic is that beautiful piece of art that is made up of different objects, materials that seemingly do not go together. This is about exploring and expanding that perception of the world, finding more information. You know what I'm saying? Not just settling for what is in front of you, but really giving yourself the chance to find more about you. This could be learning your ancestry, where you come from. You know what I'm saying? Tracing your family tree. Moments of silence, of course. But at the same time, this Hermit card is also telling you that even in this space where you're seemingly disconnected from the outside world, you're really never alone. Let's see what comes up. I'm gonna get two more. And that's what it's all about right here. Out of the Mind Oracle, we have Kimmy, the White World Bridger, which is about basically death. But this is the thing. Because our perspective of death has been convoluted and watered down over the centuries, we don't see it as an opportunity for change. We don't see it as an opportunity for growth. We're basically taught to look at it as the end. And the thing about the subject tonight, suicide, it doesn't matter if you left the physical realm or not, willingly, or if it was just your time. It's still not going to be the end. You understand? You're still going to have to deal with those things at some point, whether it's in the spirit or it's in the physical. You know, if you believe in reincarnation, you will come back and you'll have to go through that whole classroom again until you get that. So right now, again, this is a great opportunity for you to break cycles, because who knows, this might be something that's been passed down. You know what I'm saying? It started somewhere within the family line where this feeling of self-worth and value was not instilled or was stripped away at some point. And it's hard for you to really see because this is all you've known. You know what I mean? Crochet is more about the story that you tell yourself or have been telling yourself. The webs that we weave kind of energy. You know what I mean? And again, a lot of accountability comes into this because we're talking about really being honest with yourself if you can't be honest with anybody else at this time. You know what I mean? Whether it's knowing that you need help dealing with some of the issues in life and finding that help, you know, being very proactive. But it's really about rewriting your story. You know what I mean? It's really about taking control of the wheel or the will of life and navigating it to a place where you feel at home. Santa Muerte again, yeah. First and foremost, let's get it out the way. We'll give an ashe to all the ancestors, but we're going to send out a lot of love to people who have committed suicide already. You know what I mean? Recently, it's going to be a lot of it. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of it coming up. We're going to hear more cases of it or not, you know, because the news is the news. But regardless of which is going on. But to anybody who may have lost somebody to suicide, you know, my heart goes out. I've had a few people take themselves out, you know. But for me, fortunately, they weren't close. They were friends of friends kind of thing. But I've seen the effects. You know what I mean? It's something so unexpected. So what are some of the symptoms that we could look for, you know, in our friends and our family at this time, especially if they're having a hard time adjusting to the energy? And what do I mean by the energy coming in? Well, it's a lot of transformation going on, not just with us in our society and our own individual lives, but the planet itself is very much in this energy right here of purification. If you think hurricanes and tornadoes are just random acts of weather, well, I invite you to think bigger, because we are living on a conscious being, and only in appearance it may be as different as plants and animals to us, right? But regardless of the size or the shape of something, it still has a spirit and a life force that has provided us with a place to live. You know what I'm saying? Free of charge too, until we got around and start fucking shit up. So you have to think of this as the micro macro kind of thing. On a micro level, us individually taking it upon ourselves to clear out the clutter in our own individual lives adds on to this process of her cleaning herself out. You understand what I'm saying? You have to look at things like major cities as pathogens, basically. The way we take and pollute and don't give anything back. We may plant a few trees, but let's just say the carbon monoxide levels, maybe there's not enough trees right about now to really compensate for all that carbon monoxide. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the rainforest disappearing the way they are. So If you were in that position, this is more like, if you had a skin rash, what would you do? Would you just keep scratching at it, or are you going to put something on it that's going to take it out so that you won't have that rash anymore? You know what I'm saying? Or would you let cancer ravage your body, in the form of some kind of pollution or toxin? Well, it's the same thing with Mother Earth. And this part of the reading is more so the advocation for that part of just to show you that these events have a lot to do with us as a collective on this planet. We are very much accountable for it, whether we like it or not. You know what I mean? If you're paying your cell phone bill, if you got a cell phone now, just like I do, that cobalt comes from Congo kind of thing. You know what they're doing over there in Congo. So we're all participating in some form of it. You know what I mean? And if we don't have these conversations now, if we don't start the dialogue now about what really matters for the survival of the planet and the people on it, then we might as well just call it a day. Because in that position, if I had to choose between me or the people living on the surface of me or inside of me, we'll get to that another time though. I'm choosing me. You understand? Whether the cells of my body want to act right or not, I'm going to clean out, and anything that is not a part of that healthy growth moving forward is going to be eliminated. Let's see, what else do we have here? And I invite you to ask questions that are meaningful moving forward, because that right there, it really doesn't matter whether I'm an expert or not, because I know people. I am an expert in people. Not only have I trained people for 20 plus years, but I've been in childcare for 20 plus years, which has given me access to a wide range and variety of people and personality types. So yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. I do know signs and symptoms of certain psychological disorders. I've worked with these people firsthand. And there's no PhD for that, really. It depends on where your heart is and how invested you are in that journey and in the people that you serve. You understand what I'm saying? You have a PhD all day and still be in it for the money. You feel what I'm saying? So my intention is pure with this. What is going on right now, collectively, we are all being asked to transform. We're all being asked to let the old version of self die. Let the old narrative of self die. The old perspectives, the old belief systems die off and be reborn again with the wisdom of that journey instead of the trauma of that journey. Again, more of this red, more of this root chakra energy. We're talking about how we take care of ourselves and the planet that we live on moving forward. What do I need right now for a healthy future? You know what I'm saying? A stable future, a prosperous future that is in line and in harmony with the things and the people around me at this time. You know? What are you willing to let go of? How far are you willing to go to basically grow up and mature at this time? You know what I mean? If you haven't noticed already, things that used to work in the past are not working anymore. You understand what I'm saying? All the things that used to go your way may not be going your way anymore because it's old and it's stagnant energy now. So you're being asked to transform. And the thing about what's going on in the collective cosmically is that whether we accept it or not, believe it or not, the energies that are hitting this planet, all of these different influences from the cosmos are activating everybody on the planet one way or another. And the best way that we can keep ourselves in a healthy balance is to stay as grounded as possible. And this has a lot to do with self-care. how we care for ourselves, our self-talk, what we nourish our bodies, our minds, and our spirits with. It behooves you to be in the presence of people with positive attitudes, with healthy attitudes. You know what I'm saying? It behooves you to change your diet of how much you take in each day, of social media, different kinds of foods. You know what I mean? Different thought processes, because all this is playing a part in our either evolution or our destruction at this time. You know what I mean? And one way or another, we want to shed that skin out. What comes out of the cocoon is totally up to you. But that's the beauty of it. And that's what the universe is really asking you with this new time that we're in. You've had the experience. It's your turn to write the story based on that experience of how you would like to experience this life moving forward. So this is like getting a journal and really getting serious with putting your intentions into play. You know what I mean? Thinking of death as more of an initiation or a change of address, more so than the end of the suffering. You know what I mean? A great practice for all of us, and I've been doing this for I've just been doing it, right, because it's on my heart to. Let's not miss the opportunity to tell and let people know how much we care about them at this time. Our friends, our family, our loved ones, our children, spouses, people who are really on our roster, cheering us on, and regardless of what our choices are supportive of those choices. You can't buy that kind of loyalty. Corsage, This is more about the celebration of a new beginning. This is that graduation or initiation. So what this is really saying is you can't look at your life as being a victim. These are all meant for us to learn from, whether we call them mistakes or accidents. You know what I'm saying? They were meant to happen in our lives. And a lot of the times we're the cause. So there again is that accountability. But, the moment you start taking accountability is a reason for a big celebration. It is a new journey towards something a lot more fulfilling and wholesome, you know what I'm saying, in life. Just the experience of life. And it all starts here. For a lot of people who've been doing the work, so to speak, on themselves, we've gone through these different levels where we've been met with challenges that seemed like you couldn't overcome them, or there was no way out back against the wall. And having that mustard seed was the difference, knowing that there was something bigger, that this isn't a personal thing. You know what I'm saying? That there's something bigger at play. There's a bigger picture going on here. If you only step back like this Hanged Woman card would ask you to do, and see that bigger picture and how you play a part in it, at this time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see what else comes through. Santa Muerte is here to remind you that you're not alone. Even if you may feel that way, even if you feel the cards are down, you could be homeless at a bus stop. And trust me, I've been there. And coincidentally, it was one of the best times of my life. Because that's when I learned to be accountable for myself totally. It's a time to get selfish and let everybody do what they're going to do. be who they're going to be. But focusing on you and your transformation at this time, there's a whole lot of shedding of skin here, a whole lot of becoming something new, something better as a result of the experience. You know what I'm saying? Becoming the victor rather than the victim. Well, let me get this together. Oh my goodness, there we go. Never alone. Santa Muerte deals with the ancestors and honoring them and knowing that they play such a big part in who we are right now, whether it be our inheriting gifts and talents, to a physical inheritance. Could be a house, could be a small little fortune, whatever. But they always leave something behind, and it's not always the best things. We may be inheriting beliefs and habits that they did. But the thing about when we do the work and we heal ourselves, we help heal that bloodline. We help strengthen that connection and that bond, even if we didn't know those who came before us, you know what I'm saying? But even a stronger bond with those we did know in this lifetime. There is always a way. You understand what I'm saying? There's always an ear listening. You are never alone. Your guides, your ancestors will always be with you. And if there's no one else to talk to, then this is where these Jupiter and Gemini conversations begin. When we start to really look past the physical world and start leading more into the spiritual realm and all that beauty and magic that takes place on that side, because it's there that everything begins before it becomes physical in the first place. So what a great place to start. You know what I mean? And the big part about this communication, it deals with a lot of listening and silence, so you can hear what's being said, from the other side, from your peoples, from your guides, so that they can give you the answers that you're looking for. Everybody's different. How your signs and symbols and messages come through is for you to discover. What is it that you see on a day-to-day basis that kind of grabs your attention? You know what I mean? Are you always finding change on the ground? Certain animals or insects seem to always be in your presence. Is it birds? Is it cats? Is it dogs? What is it? Is it music? Every time you step into a store, you hear a song that just resonates with you and where you're at right now in life. These are different modes of communication from spirit. You know what I'm saying? And developing that kind of rapport also opens you up to tapping into other gifts and talents you may not be aware of at this time, But like I said, this video, I wanted to keep it kind of short and introductory to kind of open the door for the conversation and see if we can get some actual dialogue and see if we can actually get some people to, think twice before they make that kind of decision. Then even if it's one person, it was well worth the time spent right here, right now, talking to you all. You know what I mean? And hopefully open your eyes to the world around you and the people who are close to you, and to pay closer attention to especially our children out here. You know what I mean? Especially our children and our teenagers who are still trying to find their identity and adjusting to a world that is very topsy-turvy at this time. You know what I mean? We didn't have these kind of situations when we were growing up, as far as the level of just debauchery that we're witnessing. You know what I mean? Nor did we have social media to spread it all around. And sometimes even that overkill of influx of information is enough to drive a person a little bit batty or over the edge. Okay? But I'm going to wrap this up just as it is, and circle back around at a time when the conversation, more people are willing to have more of this conversation and add on to it. You know what I'm saying? In a productive way, so that we can come to sheesh. You know what I'm saying? Before you check out of here, before you make that decision, the spirit of this video is asking you to take a moment and reflect and really take a review of your life. To pick out more of the wonderful things rather than dwelling on the negative aspects, and to remember what your dreams are, the things that you've always wanted to do and accomplish. These things are not out of the reach of being accomplished if you apply yourself. This is a word of encouragement to, be strong in facing those fears and those demons at this time. And know that there's a lot of people out here who are willing to lend an ear or support you on your road to recovery. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to close it out. But I invite you all. It doesn't have to be the humdrum mellow of suicide or something, but anything that we're looking at as a collective that you feel needs that kind of attention, start speaking out on it. This is the perfect time for it. This is when the platforms will be open, the ears will be open. And you can reach a lot of people just because we have social media now. You don't have to just focus on the area you live in. So really, I invite you all to step forward and advocate for those things that you really believe in at this time. Things that you really could make a difference in based on your experience of these things, whether you were the person ready to take that bottle or you knew somebody who was ready to take themselves out. Just dealing with this issue right here, but anything in those realms that you feel might help somebody stick around and give themselves a chance to find their purpose before they decide to give up on the unique experience that we call life. You understand? I wish you all the best love and wholeness, and have a beautiful rest of your week.